Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado Arialonda was born on the moonlit night of Wednesday, June 19, 1861, in the lakeshore of town of Calamba, Laguna. He was the 7th out of 11th child of Francisco Mercado Rizal and Teodora Alonso Rialonda. His siblings were Saturnina, Rociano, Narcisa, Olympia, Lucia, Maria, Concepcion, Josefa, Trinidad, and Soledad. Rizal's ancestry were Negrito, Malay, Chinese, Japanese, Indonesian, and Spanish, predominantly Malayan. His original surname is Mercado. Rizal was just his second surname given by the Spanish alcalde mayor of Laguna. His first teacher was his mother, Lidora. At the age of 3, he learned the alphabet and the prayer. The early education of Rizal in Binyan, he experienced being bullied by Pedro, son of his teacher maestro, Justiniano Aquino Cruz. Trials after Binyan schooling, his mother was arrested in 1872 in reason of poisoning Jose Alberto's wife. Rizal is a polyglot. He knows 22 languages such as Hebrew, Filipino, Ilocano, Visayan, Subanon, Chinese, Latin, Spanish, Greek, English, French, German, Arabic, Malay, Sanskrit, Dutch, Japanese, Catalan, Italian, Portuguese, Swedish, and Russian. If you think speaking 22 languages is not awesome enough, Rizal was also a certified polymath, which means a person of great learning in several fields of study. He was a journalist, playwright, ophthalmologist, farmer, historian, painter, novelist, engineer, and educator. He also had varying degrees of expertise in economics, ethnology, sociology, anthropology, architecture, cartography, martial arts, dramatics, fencing, and pistol shooting. If you think being a polyglot and a polymath makes your resume look bad compared to Rizal's, then wait until you hear that he was also a sculptor. Yes, at the age of 14, using baticuling wood, Rizal carved a 9-inch statue of the Sacred Heart and the Virgin Mary. He also made masterpieces out of plaster, terracotta, wax, and clay. There were 3 species of animals that were named after Rizal, which he apparently collected while he was in the Pitan. And these are Apognaea rizalis, Jaguar rizali, and Rhacophorus rizali. The first is a type of beetle, the second a flying dragon, and the last a species of toad. There were at least 9 women linked with Rizal, namely Segunda Katigbak, Leonor Valenzuela, Leonor Rivera, Consuelo Ortiga, Osay San, Gertrude Beckett, Nellie Boasted, Suzanne Jacoby, and Josephine Bracken. These women might have been beguiled by his intelligence, charm, and wit. At the age of 11, Rizal went to Manila and studied in Ateneo Municipal, a college under supervision of the Spanish Jesuits. It was formerly the Escuela Pia, or charity school, a school for poor boys in Manila, but later, it became the Ateneo de Manila in 1872. At first, Father Marjan Ferrando, who was the college registrar, refused to admit him because he was late for gestation and he was sickly and undersized for his age. However, upon the intercession of Manuel Ceres Burgos, nephew of Father Burgos, he was reluctantly admitted to Ateneo. Jose was the first of his family who adopted the surname Rizal, because their family name Mercado had come under the suspicion of the Spanish authorities. At the end of his first month in Ateneo, he became an emperor and he was awarded a prize because he was the brightest pupil in the whole class. To improve his Spanish, Rizal took a private lessons in Santa Isabel College during the noon recess and paid 3 pesos for those extra Spanish lessons. When summer vacation came, Rizal went to Santa Cruz to visit his mother in person. Nothing unusual happened to Rizal during his second term in Ateneo. At the end of the school year, he returned to Calamba for summer vacation and lost no time in going to Santa Cruz to visit his mother. Doña Tidora told her son of her dream the previous night, and Rizal interpreted it that she would be released in 3 months. Fortunately, the prophecy came true. During his 4th year in Ateneo, Father Francisco de Paula Sanchez, whom Rizal considered as his best professor in Ateneo, inspired him to study harder and to write poetry. Rizal finishes his last year at the Ateneo in a blaze of glory. He obtained the highest grades in all subjects. He graduated on March 1877 with a degree of Bachelor in Arts. After graduating with the highest honor in Ateneo, Rizal had go to the University of Santo Tomas for higher studies. Rizal, who was then nearly 16 years old, matriculated at University of Santo Tomas, taking the course of Philosophy and Letters, because his father wants that course and he was still uncertain as to what career to pursue. Upon asking an advice to Father Pablo Ramon, rector of the Ateneo, Father Rector advised him to take the medicine for he was able to cure his mother's growing blindness. While Rizal was studying in Santo Tomas, he also studied in Ateneo, taking the vocational course leading to the title Perito Agrimensor or Expert Surveyor. He graduated University of Santo Tomas and failing to win high scholastic honors in 1882. After finishing the 4th year of his medical course, Rizal decided to study in Spain without seeking his parents' permission and blessings. In order to finish his medical studies, where the professors were more liberal than those of the University of Santo Tomas. Rizal went to Singapore, Colombo, and entered Suez Canal before reaching Europe. On May 3, 1882, Rizal reached Spain and enrolled the Universidad Central de Madrid. On June 1884, he graduated with a medical degree at the age of 23. After completing his studies in Spain, Rizal went to Paris and Germany for his specialization of ophthalmology. He chose this course of medicine because he wanted to cure his mother's failing eyesight. During his stay in Paris, Rizal registered in the clinic of Dr. Louis Becker, who was treating 50 to 100 patients a day. Rizal's sojourn in Europe includes places like Naples and Versailles, Barcelona, Madrid, Paris to Berlin, Heidelberg, Leipzig, and Dresden, Italy, Linz, Prague, Switzerland, and Geneva. In Berlin, March 21, 1887, the Noli Me Tangere came off the press with the help of Dr. Maximo Viola, where that novel was dedicated to the Philippines. His first homecoming was on August 5, 1887. He arrived in Manila after 5 years of study and patriotic labors in Europe. Because of the publication of his novel Noli Me Tangere and the uproar it caused among the friars, Rizal was warned by his family not to return home. But he was determined to return because first, he wanted to operate his mother's eyes. Second, to serve his people who had long been oppressed by Spanish tyrants. And third, to find out how Noli and his other writings were affecting the Filipinos and Spaniards in the Philippines. And last is to inquire why Leonor Rivera remained silent. On August 8, he returned to Calamba. His family welcomed him affectionately and with plentiful tears of joy. In Calamba, he established a medical clinic and his first patient was his mother, who was almost blind. He was called Dr. Uliman because he came from Germany, who treated their ailments, and soon he acquired a lucrative medical practice. Aside from practicing medicine, attending to his gymnasium, which he established, and taking part of the civic affairs, he painted several beautiful landscapes and translated the German poems of von Wildernat into Tagalog. Rizal went to Manila and appeared at Malacanang to see Governor General Terrero in the issue of Noli Me Tangere, which caused torment among the friars in the Philippines. Governor General Terrero asked him a copy of his novel, and after a few days of looking, he handed him a worn-out one. Governor General Terrero knew that Rizal's life was in jeopardy because the friars were powerful, so for security measure, he assigned the young Spanish lieutenant Don Jose Tabiel de Andrade as bodyguard of Rizal. Rizal's exposure to the deplorable conditions of tenancy in Calamba infuriated further his enemies. One day, Governor General Terrero summoned and advised him to leave the Philippines for his own good. This time, Rizal had to go. His second trip to abroad were in Hong Kong, Japan, America, England, London, Belgium, and Paris, France, where he finished his second novel El Filibusterismo. In his second homecoming, Rizal went to Manila on June 11, 1892, together with Lucia. He met the governor in the Malacañang Palace to postpone the exile of his father, sisters, and his brothers-in-law. In Dapitan, Rizal established his own house, surrounded with plants and fruit-bearing trees at the nearby seashore. He also made a house for his young student boys. Rizal devoted all his precious time in treating his patients, research study, and in the development of his knowledge in arts, literature, education, language, and science. Rizal became a doctor. He did not choose his patients based on his social status. He treated again his mother's eyes. He also became an engineer. He was able to establish waterworks system in Dapitan, where an American engineer praised him for his wonderful invention. Rizal used the 500 pesos that he received from his Englishman patient in putting up oil lamps at the dark streets of Dapitan. Rizal became a teacher. He established his own school and accepted only boy students. He offered his novel El Filibusterismo to the pre-priest martyrs named Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora. The last 24 hours of Rizal in Fort Santiago, many visitors came including Jesuit priest Josephine Bracken and members of his family, a Spanish newspaper correspondent Santiago Matais, and some friends. He was also busy in writing his farewell poem. At 6 a.m. on December 29, 1896, Captain Rafael Dominguez took charge of all arrangement for the execution of Rizal to shot at the back by a firing squad at 7 a.m. in Bagong Bayan, Luneta. Jose Rizal's death was carried out when the command Fuego was heard, and Rizal made an effort to face the firing squad, but his bullet-riddled body torn to the right and his face directed to the morning sun. Rizal exactly died at 7:03 a.m., and his last words before he died were those said by Jesus Christ, "Consummatum est," which means it's finished. Even Rizal died, his literary works will still remain and forever cherished in every Filipino's heart, for it became the reason why Philippines free from colonization.